We mostly use it as a planter tractor. I want to say this machine was about $370,000. Nothing's a 10. I'd give this one an 8. Hey, welcome to our YouTube. Today we're going to talk about the 8RX. It's a 370 horsepower 4-track John Deere. I think we've had this tractor since 2020. So starting to get a little age on her. I think getting up close to 2,000 hours now. Tractor has performed actually awesome. All we've really done to it is change the filters and keep it greased, and it's has not had any kind of ailments thus far. Knock on wood. Rubber. At the time, this was before the big run up of doubling of everything, and I want to say this machine was about 370,000. We had I think it was an 8430 or 8R340, one of the other. No, it was 80. I don't know. Anyhow, around a 300 horsepower dual front John Deere, and it was having problems, and we decided to upgrade. And there was at the time 2 tractors at the lot. There was this machine and a 410 dual front 8R, and this machine was actually just a shade cheaper than the dual front, and that thing was loaded to the max, and plus it had a few more horsepower, and they were both expensive tractors. I thought I'm mostly going to do planting with it. If I'm going to pay that much money for one, I'd just as soon have the tracks and have a smooth ride. So that's the one I chose, and we've been happy with it. We mostly use it as a planter tractor, so I pull a 24-row planter with it, and when it's not doing that, if we have a breakdown on one of the other tractors, it'll maybe fill in after it's off the planter in the fall. But we try to keep it in the shed when we're not planting with it. It's just, hopefully it lasts me a decade. I love the cab. It's hard to complain about a cab that nice. The seat is it's heated leather and just super comfortable. The operator controls are really user friendly. Y'all know I love John Deere Operations Center and the features that monitor provides. It just really is a nice setup. Least favorite feature is it's not very fun to go down the road with. It's rough riding on the road. I don't road a machine very much. Most of our farm is really close to our main, shop. So I'm not on the road much with it, but it is uncomfortable to ride on the road. I've heard that it helps with compactions. I still think with any of these heavy machines, they put a lot of compaction in the fields. The 8RX is no different. It maybe lessens the compaction, but there's still compaction behind the tractor. I can see it in my fields. So maybe helps the problem, definitely doesn't solve it. In my opinion, and hey, I'm no engineer. I'm just a farmer, but you have all these different wheels or bogey wheels or whatever you want to say inside this track, and so the force it takes to use these different, to make all these roll, definitely has to take some power away from the machine. And I don't know. I've been on a lot of the different tractors set up different ways, and I'm very happy with the tractor, but I can tell that I've been on tractors with similar horsepower, and it seems like this tractor's logging ability is not what some of the other wheel setups I've ridden on have been. So, does a great job of pulling that 24-row planter with fertilizer openers, but put this tractor on a really heavy load, and you can definitely tell it has tracks on it. I don't know much about I barely know about, I like any of my tractors. Like I know how to fix them if they're broken. I know, how to set one up properly to do the job I want it to do. But I'm no tractor aficionado. Equipment is not my thing. It's a necessary evil for me. I actually hate all this stuff. I like to talk about the market and like agronomy and things like that. So to me, equipment is just something I have to have for my farm. I want to know about it, like how to fix it if it's broken, and but like knowing specs or thing is always like I know a ballpark, but I'm never going to be able to tell you exactly. And if you want to go back in tractors, unless it's been on this farm, I have no idea. Or if you want to talk about some other piece of equipment that I had never purchased or had never looked at, I'm like, you're asking the wrong guy. Yeah, I mean, I've been I think from what I've heard is the 8R and 8RX tractors have been really good machines. I think they have every machine has a set of problems, but I think they're pretty limited on these machines. They resell good. They're in a suppressed market right now, but all equipment is. They'll rebound. Our experience with 8 Series Deeres is they hold their value fantastic over a long period of time. So um, we're ones that once we buy a tractor, we'll run that. A lot of my tractors have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000 hours. So I think we've even got one with like 11 or 12,000, and they're always 8 Series Deers. Um, and I think what we originally gave for some of those 90 models tractors is about what they're worth today. So they're 20 years old plus, but still holding their value fantastic. And this machine, maybe it's down in value now, but hold on to it another 10 or 20 years, and I bet your value is pretty similar to what you get for it. So they hold their value very well as long as you maintain them and keep them in good working order. Well, nothing's a 10, in my opinion. But this is about as high on the scale as I've ever given a piece of equipment. Most of the time, I can find something to nitpick on a machine about. And this one, and it could just be this particular machine, has been fantastic for me. I love a machine that all I have to do is change the oil and blow the filters out and grease. And if I don't have to work on it and it's working in the field when I need it to work, uh, that goes high on my list of favorite things. So tractors without problems. Um, minding nothing's a 10. I'd give this one an 8. You can see this machine has nearly 2,000 hours, and I don't know. I'd say we're probably half life on that track. So, we don't go on the road much with this machine. It mostly stays right here close. But don't put it on the road, and you'll get pretty good life out of it. I've never priced one of these. I can't imagine them being cheap. Maybe between, I don't know. Gosh, I would think they're probably upwards. I know they're over 5,000, maybe not 10,000. But I've
Okay.
never priced one. But I'll bet you, I think just two or a dual upside would be around 10 grand.
You
No,
think
I would think the X9 tracks where it,
more?
yeah, would be more. I would think
Okay.
one of those belts would be in the 25,000 range. Of course, they'd have to be built heavier because X9's super heavy machine, so they have steel in these tracks, um, and I would think that there's significantly more steel in the X9 track, or in any combine track than there would be in this 8RX track. The one thing, if I was setting this tractor up again for planning, I would put the narrow belts on it because I've seen those pull behind sprayers get pretty popular, and I think this tractor would be great in the spring to aid our self propelled. Um, if you had it set up correctly where you could run down the rows. So resetting it up, I would put the narrow track 18 or 19, whatever they are. These are 24s. Get skinnier ones. these are fine for like pulling the planter. I mean, you do compact a little bit next to the road, pinch the row a little. It's not terrible, but you can't run back down the road with this machine. Uh, to do our side dressing, we use our smaller 8Rs. So we side dress our corn here, and it would be nice to be able to use this tractor in that application, but um, well, it was I just took it as it came from the dealer, and I didn't change the setup. So I would think your efficiency is probably not a lot different out of the narrow track. You're probably going to lose a little more pulling ability with a smaller track. I would guess you get a little more compaction out of it, but uh, you get the ability to run down the row, so the tractor can be used for more applications in a row crop situation. If you're in a tillage situation, or like if you're just laying, you know, pre-plant nitrogen or anhydrous down, you'd probably want this setup here that this tractor has. The lights are like a football stadium. It's incredible. Probably my favorite thing about the tractor is, other than the cab, is just the amount of territory that those lights shine into. Like when I'm planting, I can clearly see all around me, except directly behind the tractor, and I'm, uh, you know, love to be able to see when I'm planting. You can just identify problems so much easier, or obstructions in the field. Um, Love the lights. And it'll, like we had it hooked to the turbo till this fall, doing some fall tillage behind some chicken litter truck, and it pulls that turbo till 6 miles an hour pretty easy. So plenty of horsepower for those type jobs. But I would think if you were running a big anhydrous rig or a great big field cultivator, you'd probably want for a little bit more power than that one would provide you. So the 410 maybe. I think everybody, or maybe not everybody, but there's a significant portion of the guys that are running the 400 horsepower 8Rs now, and I guess the tractor frame wise isn't a whole lot bigger than this one's. It may not be any, but that it gives you a little, like if you're going to be strip tilling with the machine, or pulling a big heavy tillage implement, that extra horsepower, um, I think is valuable. Yeah, I do know it's top speed. It'll run about 24 down the road if you open it all the way up. It says don't, it tells you clearly not to do that. You'll heat the tracks up, but like I said, I mean, if it's going down the road here, it's running, maximum usually a mile or two. So, it just doesn't get roaded a lot. Thanks for watching our YouTube. If there is something that you see on our farm you'd like me to talk about equipment wise, I'll tell you all I know about it, and I'll tell you my likes and dislikes. Um, we've ran this stuff enough to know like its weak points and its strong points. So, um, I'll be completely honest with you about things that I like and dislike on the implements that I have on my farm.